The U.S. is said to be more educated than ever before, with 1 in 3 Americans getting a college degree. But many are asking, has that really made us any smarter or better equipped to earn a living? Today, we look for lessons to be considered in Pennsylvania Amish Country, where they're bucking outside trends and often managing to achieve incredible success off no more than an 8th grade education.
So this is grades 1 to 8 here. They have one teacher.
The one-room schoolhouses in Amish Country here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, evoke an era of days gone by. No air conditioning?
Oh, no plumbing inside. This is bathrooms out here. No plumbing in here. This is a hand crank water thing for the water there. Well, with the old order Amish, 8th grade is it. That's it. I mean, like my wife grew up old order Amish, so 8th grade was it. My mom grew up old order Amish, 8th grade.
For Amish in this community of 31,000, an 8th grade education is the norm.
1st grade sits to the front, and then the 8th grade goes towards the back.
The less strict, like Calvin Lapp, who is Amish Mennonite, may go as far as high school. But for all, college is a rarity. By one recent measure, more than half of recent U.S. college graduates are unemployed or underemployed. So you might assume the young people here with so little higher education have an even tougher time earning a living. And yet, they don't. Mark Zook is the youngest of 9 in an Amish family.
So here they're manufacturing a 2-story garage.
All of the brothers work in the family business building horse barns, sheds, and cabins.
What is your position in the company?
Stolsu Structures, I'm a partner, and Horizon Structures, I'd be CEO of Horizon Structures.
And how old are you?
29.
How far through school did you go?
8th grade.
How common is it for someone your age or anywhere over age 20 or so to not have a job and not have some success, at least trying to support themselves?
In my circle, 0. I honestly don't know anyone that is looking for work that doesn't have work.
At a time when many students are exiting college with a degree, giant debt, and no good job prospects, the Amish and Mennonite communities here in Pennsylvania are proving they can generate a lot of success and wealth with no college education at all.
So growing up in our community, you always work from little up. So in the summertime when I wasn't in school, I'd usually be at the shop. That's pretty normal for our culture and community as a whole. You're taught work ethic from little up, and you just grow up in it, so you don't really know any better.
Amish and Mennonite Christians came to the U.S. in the 1700s. Their beliefs center on faith, humility, discipline, work, and family. Today, they still live old-fashioned lives, sometimes without modern conveniences like electricity and cars. And though their formal education is limited, it's hard to look at the rest of the country and not think they're onto something big here. In 3 decades, the cost of college in the U.S. has grown from between $4,000 and $10,000 a year to $19,000 to $38,000 a year. About 43 million borrowers currently owe $1.6 trillion in federal student loans, on average approaching $30,000 each. But at age 30, Sean Lapp, Calvin's son, isn't struggling with college debt or hunting for work. Raised in an Amish Mennonite household, his formal education stopped after high school. He already had about a decade of work experience under his belt and money in the bank.
We raise puppies as a family.
He started raising puppies at age 9, and like most boys here, joined his dad for work after school.
Well, here I was growing up with Dad, like at a really young age, 10, 11, 12 years old. I was pulling the hose around for his landscaping job. As a little boy, I would have been, even after school, coming home at 3 o'clock, Dad would pick me up some evenings, and I would help him work for a couple hours. And so just at a really young age, Dad taught me that work is important, even at that age, and to learn the discipline right away.
So how many did you do this morning?
I got 5 done.
Where'd you go?
Today, Sean works with his dad's booming lawn care business, 3,000 customers, and is now buying his second house.
So my first house, I was 21, And it was pretty much something that my father had said I should do as soon as I possibly can.
Buy the house yourself.
Yeah. My dad had taught me that I need to invest my money for a house. Already at the age of like 14, 15, he was talking about it. I had about $50,000 saved up to put down into the house.
When you were 21?
When I was 21, yeah.
Stories like Sean's aren't the exception.
And this is the Shady Maple Smorgasbord Restaurant.
Phil Weaver's dad built a small empire on his 8th grade education.
So my dad had back in the day maybe 40 cows. He said, I'm not going to have 40 cows, I'm going to have 200 cows.
His father's dreams grew even bigger. He opened this farm market in 1970 and through the years expanded to what's now known as Shady Maple Plaza, which includes a giant smorgasbord restaurant and banquet center.
On a busy day, how many customers do you have?
The biggest day was, I think it's right around 11,500 people.
Weaver went to high school and then joined his dad's business rather than attending college. From a success standpoint, it's hard to imagine what college would have added. Consider how much these businesses, built on 8th grade educations, are bringing in each year.
It's a $40+ million business.
Combined between the different businesses, 75 to 100 million.
I don't know if it's the German drive or if it's the Amish drive, but we want to sell. I mean, we work hard for it, but we appreciate it. And yeah, they like nice things too. You know, we think they drive horse and buggies, but the horse and buggies are $20,000 for just a horse and buggy, so they're not much cheaper than a car. And then the land in this area is expensive, so to buy land here that everybody wants, it costs a lot.
Some of the less observant have tested the waters of change. For example, Weaver says that today, high school is a must, and more education is needed for some professions. All 4 of his kids went to college.
At one time, I just thought that my kids probably need to go to college. I very much encouraged them to go. They did pretty good in school. They sort of wanted to go. I thought it was a good thing. Looking back, I'm not sure. There's just so many jobs, especially in this community, that you can get from plumber to electrician to construction worker, and a lot of different things that you don't technically need a college education for.
While much of the U.S. grapples with the weight of student debt and unemployment, the formula here remains remarkably simple, rooted in plain traditions followed for hundreds of years, and so far, relatively undisturbed by modern life knocking at the door.
There's more of an emphasis on education right now rather than discipline. And I feel like that's where we're going wrong even as a culture, or in U.S. in general. They're being pushed into education much more than they are being pushed into discipline right away at a young age. And I feel like discipline is going to get anybody more ahead than education will.
I think some people view work as a terrible, hard thing you have to do.
It's not. In fact, my mom said the worst thing about maybe going to heaven is maybe we might not work in heaven. So she's trying to figure out how she can go to heaven and still be able to work. So no, we enjoy our work. We won't do a job unless we enjoy it.
Of course, many Americans aren't so lucky and owe a mountain of student debt.